What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I last filmed anything or posted anything, but it's been a lot of personal stuff happen in the last few months here, changes, just trying to get other work done in the meantime. Still a lot of customers lined up. So there hasn't been a lot of time to work on the Flex. It takes up a lot of space, a lot of resources, a lot of time. So it kind of got put on the back burner, to be honest. Flex is still alive, like I said, just kind of got put on the back burner. Engine is still sitting in there, just kind of got it strapped up. Ran into quite a few issues. Part of the reason, trying to fit a brake booster in this thing is proving very difficult with the size of the motor. Can't really push it too much further ahead, obviously. Have a temporary intake system on there. I have a intake box I'm building to go around it as well, but as far as everything else goes, fuel lines are basically hooked up. We're trying to situate this to give a little more brake boost to it. That's only a dual 7-inch. It's likely not going to be enough brake pressure to stop the Flex. We do have a Wilwood master cylinder to go in there as well. So there is a few issues we're just dealing with. The other is I picked up a set of headers for a F-150 truck, thinking the steering would clear. It's still hitting ever so slightly. The biggest issue we are having is the cross member in this. So what originally was a rear steer rack directly linked into the firewall. It is now a front steer. The issue with that is we had to flip the knees on the actual front suspension, so left to right, to make it a front steer. But the issue is now the rack is technically backwards, so steer left, it goes right, left. So we are considering possibly putting a newer Mustang K-member in this thing. There's a few dimensional issues we have to deal with, but as far as that, we've had an overlay put in and through CAD, and it looks like it will fit pretty decently, but the track width does narrow about 2.5 inches overall, so we'd have to run probably some spacers up front to make it work, but yet we would get Mustang brakes up front, which would help, but there's a little bit of figuring out on that end to make sure it does work correctly. We'd have to obviously modify some mounts and stuff to make it all work. Fuel line is run, as you can see there. Basically got that all hooked up, so we know that is good. Obviously some hoses here do have to get run to the brake booster once all that's finalized, but as far as that goes, that's pretty well sorted. Coolant lines are all hooked up using a lot of OEM coolant hoses, which is really nice. I'll take you on the inside here. So we've played around with a few different brake boosters just to see what will fit in there. So far, only the dual 7-inch was the best fitting one. I have picked up a Wilwood clutch pedal. We are planning on running a Tremec 6-speed manual, as I've mentioned. So I've got that, I've got the pedal. The next step is to actually rip this interior out. I do gotta make some room for the Tremec. It is fairly big. Obviously this thing never had a transmission down the center of it, so we will be gutting this interior here shortly to make room. I'd like for the Tremec to pop out in the factory location and actually reuse this center console portion as the shifter location. We may have to use a shifter relocator on the back of the Tremec, but that shouldn't be a problem. I've removed the lower panel here to start making room for the extra pedal. So it looks like it should work. We had to just take the foot stop out here to cut this down a little bit to make that work, but it shouldn't be a real problem as far as that goes. I've kind of already drawn up some plates to make it fit. So we've got the Wilwood Master. I did end up buying a Mustang clutch pedal setup, but I don't believe it will work on this dash. There's just not enough room. I do have a a Mustang pedal that came with the motor, so that'll help as well as far as hooking that up, so that'll have to be retrofit likely. Other than that though, really not a lot of updates as far as much further. Plan is still obviously to run the Ford control pack and the Tremec 6-speed. Obviously the difference by removing the old motor and tranny, it is quite a bit higher in the front than the rear. So I'm hoping with the transmission added, it will drop it down a little bit. We are likely going to put this thing on 4-wheel coilovers, so we will be able to adjust this thing in and make it sit where it needs to be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We will be getting on this thing here shortly to start ripping down into the interior, getting that gutted. So stay tuned what we got. Just in the midst of actually building a new shop as well. So that's another priority of trying to get that done so I can get the flex in there and get it finalized. Just not enough room with the projects that I personally have going on, as well as customers. So yeah, stay tuned. Give you guys a quick shop tour. This is a 63 split window Corvette we're doing. This is a frame off restoration. Body is currently at the paint shop getting stripped and fixed and repainted, so we are in the midst of just reassembling the chassis. A few upgrades. It's got a disc brake front kit on it. We just did a steroids power steering rack, just new bushing, just everything, just epoxy paint, replacing all the nuts and bolts with grade 8 zinc plated bolts. Just picked up the transmission and the motor from the owner of the car. It's a 96 Corvette LT1 with a TKO 600, I believe, 5-speed. I'm just got to clean these up, and these will be going back in the chassis and off to the body shop here soon for final fit and finish on the body. And then hopefully sometime in the new year we will be getting the car back for reassembly and updating the wiring and a whole bunch of goodies with it. Also have a 71 Ferrari Daytona kit car in here as well. It's got a C4 tube chassis underneath of it. A very cool little car, small block Chevy, stack injection. We're currently doing a Tremec TKX swap in it, so we're just waiting on that to show up. Adding parking brake cables as well. Just do a nut and bolt check on the whole car. There's a few issues with it the owner wasn't happy with, so went through it all, made sure it's a lot safer to drive. It's obviously got center lock hub conversion as well. It's all aluminum body, pretty cool little car, fun to drive. Also working on a good friend of mine's 66 International truck. Just started on this a little bit. We're using a 9906 Chevy front clip. Obviously it's pretty crusty, but we're going to be using a whole stone fab front suspension kit on it, so a lot of this is going to get cut out and brand new racking for it. So a lot of this stuff will be just blasted and cleaned up. Basically 3/4 back is the stock International frame, which actually is a really nice start as it is already boxed in. So basically we're working on the notch right now for a full air ride. This, I designed and had laser cut, so we're in the process of getting this all finished up. You obviously got to cap the bottom of it and then start on the whole link setup in the rear. Probably gonna do like a cantilever style rear airbag setup, which integrated QA1 shocks and stuff. So yeah, we got to narrow the rear end about 6 to 7 inches total, so that's next on the agenda on this one. And then we got to graft the new front end into the stock International chassis, so that'll be in the coming months. Get this all set up, and yeah, keep you guys updated on this one as well. We also have a 1970 Chevelle we just received back from the paint shop. That's on a roadster shop, big block, whole bunch of goodies, very pro touring look with forge line wheels, big Wilwood brakes. Also have a 67 F100 we're doing roadster shop, forge lines, 7.3 Godzilla with a 6R80, whole bunch of custom stuff on that one. That should be a really cool truck too. So we do have a lot going on in the background, so this is what eats up all my time otherwise. So I will be getting back on this Flex at some point. Just got to make space and yeah, keep you guys updated.